Hi, and welcome back to ENTP Life. As many of you guys already know, I've decided I'm going to be leaving the United States and living most of my time abroad. In this video, I'm telling you where I'm going and why. Now, before we get started, it's that time, you gotta hit that like button. And as I always say, YouTube promotes the videos that are most liked for the amount of views that they have. So if I were to have 100 views for this video, but 50 likes, they look at that as favorable, smart, good content. So you guys can help me out right there at home by hitting that like button. It's appreciated. If you're not already a subscriber, this is my first call to action to subscribe. Hit that subscription button. Don't forget to turn your notification bell on so that you get these videos right when they come out. Without further ado, let's get started. So in my previous video, which I'm going to insert a card right above, I said that I was leaving the United States for a bunch of different reasons. I love the United States. I'm American through and through. But I think it's time for me to move on. There's a few things about the country that I just don't find appetizing, mainly the work to quality of life ratio. The American culture is heavily driven by work. We really don't take many vacations. We really don't value our families as much as we should. We don't take time out. It's now August that I'm filming this video. I have no idea when it's going to release. But in August, if you go to Europe, all of the major cities are empty. Everybody's down the coast, enjoying their time, enjoying their family. And that's what it should be about. You know, why are we on this planet? Why are we here? We're here to reproduce. We're here to really connect and make some sort of difference. And it's really hard to do that if all you're worried about is going to work and meeting your debt obligations. So as I've been traveling, I see that there's a huge difference in that American mindset, and it's more my mindset. And I figure I might as well be in an environment that values those things just so I'm not just kind of wasting away. So that's the main reason why I'm leaving the United States. Another reason is because I realized that I get way more value for my money outside of the States. And this all started with a trip that I took to Thailand, and I go over that as well. But if you go to most major cities in the world, the cost of living is like a third of the United States, right? So here it is. I'm going to be moving to Medellin, Colombia. Why Medellin? Well, first of all, Medellin is a really scenic city. It's a city that's built into the mountain valleys of Colombia. And every direction that you look, everywhere you turn, there's greenery, there's green mountains, and that's your view all the time. The weather is awesome. It's like 70 to 80 degrees every single day. It does rain a lot, but you're gonna get clear skies. It's not like Bogota where it's chilly and gray all year round. No, Medellin's a lot different. It's the city of the eternal spring, as they say. The weather's nice. It's like May in New York City. I love it down there just for the weather alone. But it's really scenic. And once you get into the comparison of the cost of living, it's really clear why I'm making that shift. So here in New York, the cost of living is fairly high. And I just started a family. It's me, my lady, and a child. And I'm looking at the expense of childcare. I'm looking at the space that I require. And if I wanted to live the way that I've always been living, I'm going to be looking at a nicer neighborhood and something that's at least 3 bedrooms, right? And if I were to rent something here in New York that was like in Williamsburg, Long Island City, Lower Manhattan, or Midtown Manhattan, wherever, actually anywhere in the city, you're looking at rents anywhere from $4,500 on the low end. That's going to get you like a crappy 3 bedroom in one of those neighborhoods and up. The ceiling kind of goes from there. And I'm going to be moving to one of 3 cities, or not cities, but one of 3 towns in Medellin, Colombia. And the 3 options are Poblado, which is kind of, I would say, Williamsburg-ish in a way. A lot of stores, a lot of shops. That's where the tourism is. I'd compare that to like either meatpacking or Williamsburg. It's the happening neighborhood. It's where the action is. It's where all the nightlife is, high quality restaurants. Everything is in Poblado. That's my first choice. Second to that is Laureles, which is kind of the emerging neighborhood. I would say maybe more like a Bushwick, Bed-Stuy, Soho, maybe 30 years ago. One of those neighborhoods where a lot of the younger generation's going. It's not as expensive as Poblado. It's not as established as Poblado, but there's the restaurants, there's nightlife, there's this good energy there. So that's my second choice. My third choice is to go to Envigado. Now, Envigado is more like I don't know, like a family neighborhood, right? There's not as many tourists, almost no tourists. It's established. I would say it's like the upper middle class neighborhood, or to even upper class in Medellin, Colombia. So it has a lot of the features that you would expect from a luxury neighborhood, safer, quieter restaurants and shops, but not catering as much to the tourist crowd like Poblado is. So, those are my three options. They're all relatively close to one another, all safe, all positive neighborhoods that have exactly what I'm looking for. Now, if you look at Medellin, Colombia, you see that there's a lot of new construction. There's a lot of new buildings going up. They feature really nice finishes. It's by far not a third world country. It's very first world in amenities, metro system. Getting around the city is not that difficult. And all the creature comforts, except for Amazon, are down there. So I got to see who is the best retailer, online retailer, so that I could get my 2-day deliveries. But I think that's the only sacrifice that I'm going to be making as far as the exchange in the United States is concerned. Now, when we look at price, as I said, a 3-bedroom in the neighborhoods that I would be shooting for here in New York would run me at minimum $4,500 a month. The same 3-bedroom in a gated community, apartment building with pool and gym would run me $600 a month, right? That's like middle of the road, about $650. If I get something really nice, furnished, I might be paying $1,200 to $1,500 a month. Okay, I'm going to be going for something around the $900 range, and that's going to get me something that's either going to be partially furnished, nicer. Really, what matters to me is the kitchen. I spend a lot of time cooking, so I want to get something that has a newer, nicer kitchen. I am going to be renting. I don't think it makes sense to own real estate in Colombia just because the rental rates are so low compared to the purchase price of those buildings. So I'll be renting over there. I already have 2 businesses down in Medellin, Colombia. So I already have a footprint there, friends and family there. So there's people that I could lean on, I could count on for additional services. Plus, I already am generating income and revenue from that city. So I'm set up very well. So the 2 businesses that I have there are a hostel or like an Airbnb by the name of Loft Better. So if you want to ever stay in Medellin, Colombia and check it out for yourself, I highly recommend you check out Loft Better. It's 1-bedroom apartments, well appointed, really cheap, anywhere between $50 and $70 per night, right in the heart of Poblado, happening streets. Definitely things to do. It's cheaper, like I said, it's $50 to $70 a night, but it has everything that you need, and it's a full 1-bedroom apartment, super comfortable. You'll definitely love it. I'll leave a link for Loft Better down below so you could book it out whenever you want to come down and hang out in Medellin. The other business that I have is a call center that supports my home care business here in New York. So I have an office there, someplace that I can just plug in and work. And my overall business strategy is to include raising capital from international sources as well. So while I'm down there, I'll be kind of working with the high net worth individuals who have an interest in U.S. real estate, because the return on U.S. real estate is so much more than the return down in Colombia. And they already have a culture of investing in real estate, especially those that have. So those are, 2 of my leading reasons for why I'm moving down there. The third reason why I'm moving down is because childcare is going to be really cheap. I could hire an assistant or a family assistant, like a live-in nanny that could take care of my child, provide us with 2 meals a day, and keep my home clean for $400 to $500 a month. So if you look at my rent being anywhere from 6 to 900, a full-time family support person for $500 a month, I'm able to cover with just $1,100 to $1,300 my all my day-to-days, childcare, a place to live, and food. The average price per a meal outside, if you're getting like a typical dinner or lunch, is $3 to $4 for rice, beans, avocado, steak, some pork belly, and a drink and a soup for $3. So if I wanted to eat every meal outside per person per day, I'm looking at a meal budget of $300 per month, right? If I expand that to my family, then it's or $600 or $700 if I include the baby per month. So that takes me to what? $1,800 all in for that lifestyle. Maybe throw in another $100 or $200 on top of that for utilities, cell phone, internet, those basic things. So, the way I look at it is, as a single person, $1,500 will cover you very well. If you're making $500, $600 a month and that's considered fair for a single person, $1,500 a month is more than enough to provide for yourself and a small family. So when I look at what $1,500 to $2,000 a month gets me here, that gets me a studio apartment in Queens, right? Why wouldn't I want to stretch my dollars a little further? And I'm able to. And the type of businesses that I'm in, real estate, home care, etc., I really can do them remotely mostly. I'm going to be traveling back and forth whenever I do have to be present for contract signings or deal closings. And I could also hire somebody to represent me and have the same or close to the same throughput and efficiency as I would if I was right here. The only difference is that extra $5,000, $6,000 a month that I'm saving, I'm able to reinvest. I'm able to hire 10 employees for that same amount of money that can be out there generating leads for me, can be out there raising capital, rather than spending it in just four walls that are going to keep me dry in the spring, warm in the winter. It doesn't make any sense. At least to me, it doesn't. The real way of looking at this is you're just getting the most for your currency. And this has been a thought of mine for many years, is to say, hey, let me get more for my money. Let me move to another country, and whatever I'm generating in my cash flow or additional income, push that into leveraging other people. Push that into taking advantage of the differences in currency or the limitation of access to certain markets. There are people who want to invest in the United States, who have the means, but they don't have the conduit. They don't know somebody who's there. They don't have a visa to come into the United States and figure things out. They don't know how our tax system works. They just know that there's opportunity, right? So I can function as that bridge who's able to go back and forth. I understand the marketplaces. I understand the business. I'm able to communicate it clearly. And there's value to me just kind of living in these different locations. Now, who else was on the short list, or what other cities were on the short list for my relocation? So I also considered Rio de Janeiro, because just recently I've fallen in love with Brazil, but Rio de Janeiro is too far out of the way for it to really work with my strategy. See, from New York City to Medellin, Colombia is a 5-hour flight direct, right? So I could shoot in and out just as quickly as going to like Boston, right? Driving to Boston. So I could get from New York to from Medellin home or New York to Medellin in 5 hours. I really don't lose much. The flight isn't that expensive. If I'm flying from Rio de Janeiro to New York, the flight's going to cost me anywhere from $900 to $1,300, and it's going to take me like 13 hours, right? If I have a connection. If I have a direct, which is only during the peak season, then it's going to take me around 10 or 11 hours. So I was like, that's just too much time for me to be whipping back and forth. But as far as a country is concerned, I think Rio de Janeiro is dope. And now that I'm going to be living in Colombia, I'm only 5 hours away from spending a month in Rio with my family, or just hanging out and learning how to surf or something along those lines. Another country that was on the short list is another South American country, which is Lima, Peru. Lima was the first South American country, not country, but the first South American city that I went to. And Peru was the first South American country that I went to. And what shocked me was that they had this really cool coastal town called Miraflores, which is right on the coast. It's like these green cliffs. It's like this kind of black sand, gorgeous city, and the food culture is amazing. I'm a big foodie. I love to cook. I love to eat. And they have the strongest culinary tradition in all of South America. So Lima, Miraflores specifically was on the list. The only thing about Lima that I don't really like is culturally, it's not the best fit for me. Because once you leave Miraflores, things change a lot. And I didn't want to just live in like this bubble of upper class, right? And there's too much of a gap culturally between that upper class and the general public from what I found. And I didn't want to be in a place where there was still that stark contrast. That contrast does exist in Colombia, but it's not the same. It's a different vibe, different people, different look. Just it's a different culture, and I felt that Medellin's culture matched me better. Another city that I'm thinking about maybe living in for 3 months to 6 months out of the year was Nice, France. Nice, France is more expensive than the South American counterparts, but it's a really cool city right on the Mediterranean Sea. The creature comforts of being in the United States, but it's also further away, longer flight, more expensive flight to my main hub. So Medellin just worked for me as far as the direct access into New York City, the time, the culture, the overall low expenses. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to be living the rest of my life in that country. I'm really on the search to find, cities that will host me and really fit the different sides of my personality and allow me to kind of rotate through them all. I don't think that any one city is going to be my home. I really view it as the world is my home, and depending on what my needs are at that time, I'm going to be living in that city. If I need to be in a vibrant coastal city, then I'll be in a vibrant coastal city. If I need to be near indigenous folks that are still living in what would be considered an antique or ancient way, hey, if I feel the need to do that, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be confined to some sort of border or to some sort of idea of this comfort that we call the United States. I feel that there's so much that I learn when I leave. But just to wrap this up and give you a clear synopsis as to why I chose Medellin, Colombia, here are the reasons once again. Cost of living and quality of life, far much better than here in the United States, especially in New York City. I'm going to be able to live on $1,500 to $2,000 a month and support a family of 3. I also have, business in place down there. I have my hostel, Loft Better, link below. I have my hostel there. I have friends there. I have business associates there. I also have a call center and office there. So it's not really going to interfere with my ability to shoot in and out or my ability to work and get around. I'm not going to be lost. I'm not going to be confused culturally. And the third reason is the ease of getting to and from New York City. I do recognize that, a lot of my money I generate here. So I have to be able to be within, a blink of an eye of heading back to the city. So those are essentially my reasons why. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comment section below. And of course, let me know by hitting that like button. But what I want to hear from you is, do you think that I'm making a right choice by going to Medellin? Or do you think that this is just crazy? Because I've gotten some feedback from people that are like, I don't know about that. What about the drugs? What about the crime? What about etc.? And it's so clear to me that they've never been there. And they have like this misunderstanding of what it's like outside of the US. So if you have any of those questions or concerns, please let me know in the comment section below. I always love hearing back from you guys. If there's another city that you're familiar with because your family's there that you think I should check out and see if it really fits into my strategy, I also want to know that right in the comment section below. Or you could even tell me where you would like to live if you had the ability to break free from your 9 to 5 and just go anywhere in the world. What city would that be? Thank you for joining me here at ENTP Life. Can't wait to put out that next video. Can't wait to hear from you. Take care.